Regardless of your skill level or how many interceptions you've thrown this year, by the end of this video, you're going to have 5 playbooks that are going to have you dominating and scoring every drive in college football 26. Let's jump right into it. All right, first I'm going to be breaking down the most toxic playbook you can be using right now in college football 26 from the Ohio State. Let me show you. Alrighty, so obviously the great thing is Ohio State's already one of the best teams in the game. So if you're playing road to the CFP, this is an absolute nasty playbook, okay? So there's some things in this playbook that are good, a lot of things, but mainly it's this single back bunch tight end, okay? This is the annoying toxic scheme that we're talking about because pretty much you can just call 3 plays the whole game from this formation and dominate, okay? Stretch alert bubble, cross drag, and verticals, okay? So I'm gonna make sure all of these are in my audibles, and then I'm gonna call RPO or stretch alert bubble here. I'm gonna have them in a random play. Okay, this is the best RPO in this game, okay? Because you're gonna see when we take this snap, we're just reading alignment, okay? Obviously that's how we do the jump tackles in the backfield, but we had the look right there. Here, we have another look out here to the edge, okay? But you're really just reading that bubble man, okay? If he comes down like that, you don't want to throw it. You just want to hand it off, okay? Boom, this time it's open, and so you're able to dump it off there. You have better stick, you get out to the sideline, okay? You're going to put their defense in major conflict right here. Good blocking, we get a tackle battle, we're able to pick up 6 yards, you know, because of that, okay? Just a tough look for them. Boom, you're going to catch that defensive lineman right there, the guy that I'm technically using. He's going to be put in major conflict. I'm actually going to click off of him now. So boom. Okay, this time I'm going to hand the ball off. You can see we get out to the edge. I don't think I've ever seen 25 points. I thought they were running back to someone else. But anyway, boom. We're going to continue to go through this. They're going to continue to run man. If they continue to run man, that's when you want to try to hand the ball off and get out to the edge, okay? But it's not just done there, though, with this single back bunch tight end, because that's just the RPO. If we just load up a passing play right here, okay, if we wanted to put our running back on an out route here out of the backfield, we can put our tight end on a shriek. So now we're just calling a mesh concept. Boom, man coverage. You can just see how an out route out of the backfield is able to turn into, you know, a 15-yard gain down the sideline. You could also just call cross drag stock against a lot of different defenses and have success. So boom, you know, if they drop their flats too far back, you're gonna just be able to, you know, dump the ball off and, you know, dominate. Boom, backside dig open right there. Throw it a little bit later than I did right there. Kind of got a little too antsy and threw it early, but boom, take it. If they're running man coverage, then you can have that crosser to Cornell Tate. Boom, get in the end zone, touchdown. Okay, so honestly pretty easy with this play because it has a lot of answers for every single defense. They want to run man, you have a mesh, then you have a crosser and a dig. They want to run zone, you can look and throw your, you know, dig route on time. Jeremiah Smith, who has butterfingers for some reason today, dropping every pass. But then we come into verticals. Now this is the real abuser, okay? This is gonna just make their life on defense miserable, okay? So we can go ahead and put them in a cover 2 defense here. If you catch people in cover 2, that's when you just want to quick snap this play, okay? Wait for it. You can see how much time we have in the pocket, and then we're able to wait for Jeremiah Smith on his wheel to run over the top of those flats, okay? So come into it one more time right here. If you want it, you don't have to make any hot routes. That's the beautiful thing about this play, is that you can just snap the ball, okay? Snap it. This time they're going to be in man coverage. Now you still have your crosser, you know, on the field. So with a good free form, better than what Julian Sayin just did, you know, you're going to be able to hit that pass. But you also have your running back out of the backfield. This time they're going to be in cover 3, and so that wheel is still going to run over the top of their zone. So this time I'm going to go ahead and put them in cover 3 once again right here. I'm actually this time going to just block my running back to get some more time. But you can just see how, boom, if we wait on that, you can see how that pass is open. Obviously, Julian Sayin is the greatest quarterback in the land, but you can see how if we just watch the replay, boom, we get underneath of this guy because he's looking right here, and so then you're just able to wait on this and throw this on the sideline. Pretty wide open, pretty easy. And then also you have a crosser here. If their hook zones don't drop this far back, you're able to hit this. And that's why, honestly, sometimes I just leave my running back on the route, because he would be filling this area right here underneath for an easy check down. So overall, Ohio State, one of the best offensive playbooks, because you can just run this toxic run pass offense and not really have to think too easy, because the reads are so easy when you quick snap. All right, so next we're going to be breaking down another super easy offense for you to run from the UCLA playbook. Let me show you. All right, little shameless plug here. You can go to the link in the pinned comment and the description and get this UCLA offense at Victory Formation GG. Just use code BLT for 20% off, please, and thank you. But here we go. We're going to come into UCLA. Gun bunch is really what we're talking about here, okay? Just going to show you guys a few plays, okay? So we're going to come into bunch verticals, okay? And this is really just a great quick snap play. Again, that's the theme here. All I really would do a lot of the time is put my tight end on a drag route, because I like the underneath meshing concept that we can create, because this is essentially mesh high-low. I've talked about this on Madden. If you go watch my Madden channel, it'll be on the screen, the card will be in the top right. But I talk about all this stuff on that Madden channel because it's so important to the fundamentals of passing the football. You're able to see mesh underneath, okay, but they take away our crosser. Well, that's why we have our mesh on the field, because if those hook zones want to drop really far back, we want to punish them by taking our underneath, okay? This time I'm going to put them in cover 3 sky. I'm going to have them shade down so that those hooks come further down. And that's the time when you can hit your crosser over the top. So really, you're just playing a cat and mouse game with them on where they want to position their zones, and you're just going to be able to take advantage of it. The great thing also is that really, regardless of the coverage, someone's going to be open here. This time we're going to have our crosser open right there. Once again, possession catch when it's tight window throws, okay? When you have an inferior team like UCLA versus Ohio State, you're going to have to throw to tight windows sometimes, and so that's the tough thing. Also, when you send 5 out, you're susceptible to just getting screamed at like that. And so that's obviously not good for you, but that's just why it's important to hit passes on time. You're able to see your running back check down out of the backfield. Going to do a great job against man coverage. So you can beat zone coverage with the mesh high-low with the crosser and the 2 drags, and then you can beat man by hitting a lot of those other routine passes. But if they go ahead and run cover 2, you're going to see it's going to be pretty much the same thing, because now we're going to set up the same route combination. And as long as you can get time in the pocket, you're just going to see how you're just going to be able to throw that pass, a tight window throw, down the sideline. Now, actually, to make that better, like if they're going to run cover 2, then I would put my tight end on a shriek just to try to run off that underneath defender. Okay, so boom, they're going to be in a cover 2, and then you're going to see how that wheel route runs over the top of the flat zone, and then there's no one else there on the sideline. So boom, he runs over him, and then that's going to be a wide open pass also, just because now you have someone running off this deep zone. So that play vertical is pretty easy to set up, can beat every defense. But then if we go ahead and come back into some of these other formations here, we're going to come into still gun bunch, we're going to come into clear out. Okay, this is the bomb play, and how you can use this to take advantage of a lot of different defenses. Okay, so we're going to come into cover 3 sky. You want to make sure that you always have your bunch on the wide side of the field. Okay, so put this Matthews on a corner route, stem him all the way down. Okay, and boom, we're going to take this snap, and then you're just going to be able to pass lead that ball to the sideline, touchdown over the top. Again, tight window throws, just because obviously, you don't have the same talent level, but if you're playing cut, or you have a better team, this pass will probably be wide open. Why does this work? It's zone logic, okay? You have this is a fade, okay, and then they have an outside third here. Boom, you just get this guy to hesitate. You see how he kind of runs down into the sideline and then tries to recover? Well, that half step is just enough, and then we're able to put that pass. That's a perfect pass right in the money. Possession, catch that pass in the end zone for a touchdown. So pretty easy, route concept there against cover 3. But then obviously if they want to run cover 2, it's kind of the same thing where you're just going to wait on this guy to run over the top of the flat zone. So boom, then you're able to see just a big dot right there on the sideline. So this was something that I was doing a lot early in the year, running this offense, because you can see I just beat cover 2, I beat cover 3 earlier. Well, now if we put them in man coverage, you still have 3-man beaters in the field, looking over the top to that tight end, and we get a good aggressive catch right there. So sometimes he creates separation, sometimes you got to go up and get big, but clear out a great one-play touchdown. And overall, the UCLA bunch is a scheme that can attack every single defense in this game. All right, if you really suck at passing, this is the playbook for you. Alabama, the secret offense, you saw it in the thumbnail. Let me show you why. All right, and before I show you that Alabama playbook, make sure you hit that subscribe button so we can continue to grow this channel and reach more college football players. All right, so like I mentioned, if you suck at passing, this is the playbook for you, okay? Alabama, we're gonna come into packages here. We're going to come into your your wide receiver at quarterback package. Now, what this is gonna do, put your starting wide receiver at quarterback. Now, this is the perfect offense for road to the CFP, just like our first playbook, the Ohio State one was, because Alabama's already a really good team. Ryan Williams is the best player that you can use pretty much at this position, okay? Why? If we come into coaching, if we come into our depth chart here, and we go to wide receiver, you're gonna see Ryan Williams who's 96 speed, okay? He's 96 speed, he's 99 agility, he's 99 acceleration. I don't think he's really this good anymore in real life, but clearly EA does, okay? So what does he have? He has platinum sidestep, platinum 360, okay? So really what that means is he's gonna just be able to move all over the field, okay? So boom, take the snap, and I basically have human joystick with Ryan Williams now. Every single input I put into my controller, he's gonna make, okay? So there is some risk that comes to that, don't get it mistaken. If you have bad stick, you're gonna pay the price. But essentially what you're able to do is if you can get out in open space into the open field against some of these defensive players, you're just gonna be able to make the AI miss pretty easily. Those first 3 reps, you can see how I'm picking out positive yards pretty much every time. I haven't, busted one over the top like, you're able to sometimes. If they had like tackle supreme or really good, there's some abilities that can kind of counter what I'm doing here. But here, we're gonna just be able to get out to the edge, and you can just see how I'm able to cut up really fast. Like, that's just an unrealistic kind of move. Although this game's movement is pretty fast, I can tell you guys, I've used a lot of other ball carriers. Other guys can't move like this dude can in this game, because you're able to see right here where this safety, he has a decent angle to come up and make the play, but I'm just able to put my foot in the ground very easily and get out to the edge. Like, it's just absolutely ridiculous what you can do with this scheme. So this is the QB power. So boom, you're able to just kind of, cut back, in and out, do whatever you want. You can hit stop and goes. Like, if you guys play Madden 21, bro, that was a look at this stop and go. Like I just feel like, I mean, I've done it better, some other times, but you can stop and go now with this scheme, okay? So really that's not it, because there's the jet QB counter, which allows you to get out to the other side. So if we put them in a random play, we're going to come into jet QB counter, whereas if they start catching a beat on you going out to the right side here, well, now you're going to reverse field and go out to the left. Now, I would say that honestly, like, look at that. That's what I'm talking about, that unrealistic movement where I just made number 8 completely just whiff, just because I'm just ducking inside of him. So Ryan Williams, boom, fake toss, boom, cut it up. Again, this is unrealistic too, to be able to make this move. And then to just run right past number 8. Pursuit angle is not terrible in this game. They're a lot better than they were last year, but this is just Ryan Williams, man. And that's the reason why this scheme is so good. So you feel like you have good run stick in this game, this is the offense for you. Because then I'm able to just make all these CPU defenders miss and, turn into, easy, big gains down the field, okay? So, again, you have bad passing game, you love running the football, this is the perfect offense for you because you're just able to pick up positive yards nearly every time, and it's going to be pretty tough for even some of the best user defenders to be able to tackle you. All right, if you like to play versatile on offense in college football 26, this Houston playbook is going to be the perfect one for you. Let me show you why. All right, so when we're talking about the Houston playbook, we're talking about their tour. They have trips tight end, a bunch tight end, tight slot halfback league. Obviously, I feel like every offense is good in this game. That's just the reality. But if you guys watch BLT in college football 25, you know about the tight slots, okay? I love this formation. and it'll always have a special place in my heart. Maybe I'll run it again next year, I don't know. But we're gonna come into tight slots and we're gonna come into flood. Okay, this is a bomb. You can see they're in single high safety right here, but they're gonna be in man, so we're gonna put them in zone. This is a cover 3 beater. It can beat cover 2, it can beat man, but it's best against cover 3. All you wanna do, put that B receiver on a corner route, put Johnson right here on a go ball, and then I like to block my running back. All right, so really you're just trying to set up the bomb over the top. Like I said, put B on a corner route, Y on a go ball, tight end on a drag right here. Okay, they're going to be running cover 3. We're going to spy off the pass rush just for the sake of showing you that this works. Obviously, you would need time in the pocket to get this to work in a game. Okay, and it really just comes down to timing of the throw. Boom, that's when I want to hit it. Okay, you can't like really wait on it that long, because the longer you wait, the longer you give the outside third defender time to recover. Okay, boom. If you wait on this, you give this guy time to recover, but you see how, let's look at where the ball's already being thrown and he's still looking over here. By the time he turns around and realizes the ball is already way in the air, and we're just going to be able to throw that pass right in between those two defenders. Okay, you know, if you, like I said, if you wait on it, you're going to throw an interception, but when you throw it on time and on target, you know, you're going to be able to score an easy touchdown with this play flood. Okay, if I go through it one more time, this time I'm going to have a pass rush, so if I do get shedded, like right there, I don't have time to set up the bomb, so what am I going to do? I'm going to hit my underneath if it's there, and then, you know, or I'll just throw the ball away if I need to. Okay, but this Houston playbook is not just one formation. Like I said, this is a tour offense, so we're going to come back into gun bunch tight end, and we're going to start utilizing some of the things that make bunch tight end so unique. Okay, so that starts with PA verticals, so we go ahead and put them in a random play. Again, another great quick snap play in this game, because again, regardless of the defense that they run, right here they're going to be in a cover 3. You want to make sure that you're calling this particular play when you're in the short side of the field like this. But right here, we're going to go ahead. Yeah, they're going to be in a cover 3. So we're going to, you got to cancel the play action. That's a key coaching point that I forgot. Okay, so you have to block running back with this. You don't want to have that happen where you roll out like that. That messes up the entire play. So we go ahead and make sure they're going to be in a cover 3 this time. Boom, well, let's see. Yeah, they're going to be in a cover 3 on this side. Okay, so boom. We're going to block our running back, and we're just going to take the snap and look at this pass on the sideline. Again, easy dot, because it's the same thing that I talked about earlier from the Ohio State verticals play, right? It's hold this defender. Okay, number 3, it's going to hold this defender inside, and then we're going to run a guy right underneath of him for an easy gain, pass lead on the sideline, easy completion. Okay, hopefully you get a little bit of a cleaner pass right there. But boom, you're also able to see your crossers open, right? He's able to get underneath of those deep zones and, create an opening for you to hit. Okay, so all right, really regardless of the coverage that they're in, this route combination is going to be able to beat that. Right here, you're going to see, they're going to be in match, so that's tough when they run match. Is that going to be a dot BLT? Oh my gosh, catch the ball. All right, so when they run match coverage, you have to, that's why I always say, and that's a good thing that happened, because this is why I always say you want to hit your first read. You're able to see, I could have hit this read and picked up some decent yards right here, but I was waiting on this crosser to get open, and then he just got matched onto, so he wasn't open. And so then by the time I look back down here, this isn't really an open pass that I want to throw anymore. And so that's the key coaching point that I always try to make for you guys, is that when something is open, like a check down to the back, you want to try to hit it. So right here, learn my lesson, hit that, and the great thing is you're going to be able to turn that into at least an 8-yard gain. So never be ashamed to take your checkdowns, but this play PE vertical is a good bomb over the top. If they want to run cover 2, run cover 3, you have some openings. But then obviously we come into trips tight end. I mean, we know about trips. The play that I'll break down here is curl flat, right? Always one of the best plays in the game. And here with this, you want to make sure your trips is on the wide side here. When you're calling this particular play, or just running trips in general. The one high route I would make is put my tight end on a shriek and then snap the ball, because you're going to see man coverage here. We're going to look to that curl route to throw it on the break. Obviously, we would love if our quarterback, would hit passes to open receivers, but boom, we throw our curl on the break and we're able to make that pass, a completion. All right, that's really all it comes down to, is hitting those passes on time, zone coverage here, and so we're going to be able to throw our curl for the 3rd time. But it's not just the curl, obviously. That's just an easy completion that you can hit against a lot of different defenses. They want to run zone coverage. Well, we're just going to hit our running back and go out of the backfield, especially if their zones aren't or excuse me, their zones are dropping really far back, or they're not, coming down to take certain passes away. Okay, boom, this is gonna be man coverage. I'm gonna roll out right here. And so then I'm just gonna, get some extra blocks and turn it into a big game. So a lot of options here with this particular, play from trips tight end. Right here, only a 3-man rush. So I reset the pocket, and then I'm gonna try to hit that pass down the field. Aren't able to bring it in. But all in all, you can see how easy this play is. I mean, boom, you just take it. I mean, you can literally hit this running back so often. Like, they're gonna have to either that, man it up, do something. And so when you quick snap this play, it makes it very easy. But that's going to be curl flat from the trips tight end formation. See how he beats man, and we're able to turn that into a big game. But it's not better than our #1 playbook. All right, if you want to be sweaty, be competitive, rank highly in those cut ranked, matches in tournaments, the USC playbook is one that you really need to take a look at. Let me show you why. All right, so if we come into this USC playbook, they have a brand new formation here in College Football 26 called Gun Bunch Ace Offset, okay? Why is this formation good, BLT? Well, it's just bunch, but then it's like bunch offset combined. So it's like you can block your tight end, I believe. Let me see. So this plays mesh. Yeah, you can block your tight end, but you are also in a bunch formation. So in other bunches, like gun bunch, I don't believe you can do this. You can't block your tight end. So that's really good if you're playing against like goal line. I know it's a meta. If you're playing against mid blitz, you can block your tight end, help you out a lot. But mesh post, this is such a good route combination once you put your tight end on a shriek, or excuse me, your slot receiver, because you're gonna be able to get rid of that ball over the middle, very easily and very quickly. Okay, so having a lot of check down options right here. We're just gonna hit our underneath drag right there, going to, do us a lot of dividends there, as far as getting rid of the ball on time. And that's the great thing, is these route combinations that allow you to quickly get rid of the ball allows you to like still play ahead of the chains, but still take the top off of the defense if we can get a good look. Here, they just keep blitzing me, but there we go. We're able to hit one of our best receivers in stride and turn it into a touchdown with that post route. So you're starting to see how that route combination can beat every coverage. But even if we wanted to set it up a little bit differently here, this has always been one of my favorite route combinations from Gun Bunch, is something like this, where we're going to, if they want to run cover 3, which is what I'm going to put them in right here, they're going to run cover 3. Now we're going to be able to hit our C route on the sideline. So we're going to take this snap, and we're going to have a C route wide open right there on the sideline. So still being able to attack every level of the defense just by understanding zone logic. Okay, so boom, we're going to C route, sideline, easy, dot on the sideline, completion, possession catch, whatever you want, anything you want to do, very easy. Then you're still able to see backside post is open in the middle of the field, given that you have time to hit it. And then obviously right here, they take away our drag, credit to them. They shade their coverage down. So that means that we're going to have, obviously, like I said, our post route right there. But really, it's not finished with this particular, formation here, Gun Bunch Ace Offset, because if we go ahead and re-spot the ball right here, this is a bomb, PA read. Okay, go ahead, put RB on a shriek right here. You need pass protection, so honestly, I would block my running back, half slide my line in that direction to the left, because I'm trying to roll out here. Okay, this is what you're trying to do. You're gonna take this snap and you're gonna try to roll out. Okay, you need a fast quarterback, but then you're gonna be able to see how that pass, there's a lane for you to hit that. Okay, actually right there, I believe I had them in cover 2. It's a cover 3 beater. Okay, so boom, we're gonna come into PA read again. We're going to block our running back. We're gonna double team this end right here, and we're gonna set the route combination up like this. Okay, we're gonna try to roll out. Yeah, I'm just gonna spy off that guy. Okay, I'm gonna spy off that guy, but you would need to, find a way to actually block him clearly. But I just want to show you that. I mean, you could actually just probably stand in the pocket and hit this throw, if I'm gonna be honest. Let me just try that instead. Okay, boom, put him on that route. Set it up something like this. PA read over the top. Yeah. So you don't really have to roll out. I would just roll out, a lot of the time to make it a little bit of an easier throw. But honestly, you see how it's just an easy completion in the middle of the field, against a cover 3 defense. Why does this work? Well, you have a runoff route. You have a go ball, which runs off the inside third. Okay, you have a comeback route, which is you can see how this outside third is gonna run up and then he's gonna come down because there's no one else in his area. okay? And then we're gonna have an S post running over the top for an easy gain, you know, down the middle of the field, easy completion. So you can see how this new formation, gun bunch ace offset, allows you to attack every single defense. There's other plays in here that I didn't even talk about that are going to, you know, be very, very good for you. But then there's some other stuff in here. I don't know, I would really run it. I mean, you have spread, right? You have Y off trips, which gives you some good RPOs. You know, you have this actually is pretty good. You know, I believe, isn't this a direct snap right here? Yeah, and then can't you just throw that pass across the, I've never seen this play before. This just caught my attention. So boom, you can take this. Why can't I press LB? I was trying to throw it to him. I guess you can't. But anyway, it's still a great halfback pass. Or excuse me, a great halfback run, and because this would be really good down inside the 5-yard line, okay? Where you just direct snap to the back, and then you're able to just bellow ahead, you know, for easy yards instead of it being like a handoff type of pass, okay? So then, oh, that's how you do it. If he runs behind him, then you can do the reverse. Okay, I see now. So, I mean, that is pretty cool, boom. But if he runs in front of him, then you can't. So honestly, this USC playbook, one of the better ones, honestly. You know, if you want to, you know, play on meta, I really like this bunch strong offset meta. Not enough people use it, in my opinion. Gives you a lot of great advantages. But yeah, you need to start using this USC playbook if you want to be on meta and compete at a high level. All right, now you're probably really good on offense in college football 26, but if you're still struggling on defense, check out this video where I break down the 2 best defenses you need to be running right now. Peace.